Hey, 4-3, Oscar Bravo 020 Australia, UDX 791 waving. Hey, good to hear you, 20. I got my beam pointed towards the South Pacific. Good to hear you out there, man. You're sounding Q5. QSY. How about it, 20 Australia, UDX 791 Gulf Islands. Yeah, good to hear you out there, Mick. Wow, that's perfect. I was just sandy-bagging on the side there, and there you were out of nowhere.
Yeah, roger, mate. I've heard a bit of Canada coming in today, and I've been calling you on and off through the day, and I've been giving you more shots, see if you're happy, and there you go, you'll see on the side, so that was a pretty good pick, over.
Hey, Roger, on that there. Yeah, I was working a bit of skip earlier down on the lower ones there, 37 to 40, or 36 to 40, and then I went in the house for a bit, and I figured, you know, I'll give her one more shot out here, and see if we can get some South Pacific stuff by sandy-bagging. And there we are. We heard you. You're coming in loud and clear.
Yeah, I got you coming in good too, Jeff. Joe, sorry, mate. I was just talking to Jeff. Yeah, you're coming in there. I've got your 5 and 7 at the moment. Nice strong audio. Cutting through as usual. You're doing a great job. I've just been popping around in the radio shack, just working out all these microphones. I've got so many microphones on your equipment, over.
Oh my God, that is a lot of microphones. Holy smoke, you are a microphone collector.
Yeah, I've got a load of them. I've got a lot of bass mics, but most of them are burners, burner mics, and the hand mics, well, there's boxes and boxes of them, over.
Hey, Roger, on that there. Well, you can never have enough microphones or radios, that's for sure. I got a few mics hanging around here. I mean, I got a couple of D104 lollipops and a bunch of handheld preamps and stuff like that. I got a static desk mic too. It's a 878DM. I have that hooked up to one of my radios. But I bet you got a lot of radios too, huh?
I don't want to tell you how many radios I've got. It's a bit more than a hobby, mate, over.
Oh yeah, I know it's an addiction, that's for sure. I think I got about a dozen radios here or so, but I talked to one guy and he said he had about 40 or 50 radios, lots of old ones. But yeah, so I have no excuse to ever get another radio. If I ever want another radio, I would really have to get down on my hands and knees and beg to my wife and explain why I need another radio.
Yeah, what you gotta do, Charlie, you gotta just, sneak it in. That's what I've done over the years, she doesn't realise how many I've got. She does now because we're at the new house, and I had to make a whole world of the radio. So, I got busted with that, but I'll just give you a bit, I've got about 50 radios at the tank getting repaired. So you can sort of work out how many I've got, over.
You got a lot of radios, Mick. Well, that's all right. You know what? It's a good hobby, and if that's what makes you happy, then so be it, right?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's right. That's my hobby, and that's a bit of fun. I can always sell them and get rid of them, but I just like having them. I've got them on some shelves and that, in boxes and stuff. And it's a cool hobby, and I really enjoy radios, and I enjoy having them, mate, over.
I'm the same way. There's a lot of guys, when I used to talk on this thing back in the 70s and 80s, they got out of the hobby and they never really got back into it. They sold their radios, or some guys sold their radios and then they ended up getting back into it and had to buy their radios again, buy new equipment. I always kept my radios. No matter, even if I was bored of it sometimes, I still kept my radios.
Yeah, that's the way to go, mate. Yeah, well, I always had radios, because I got into radios, my dad was into them, and, you follow your old man, so I just sort of always had a radio, and you're into the hobby, and then you get bored with it, and then you just put the radio away, and then you hook it back up when you want to. So it's one of them hobbies. You can sit at home, you're not causing no one any problems, and you just you're safe at home, and
That's what I say. It's a social thing, you know, especially if you're retired. Like I'm retired here, and then I ended up getting a job. I worked Tuesday to Thursday, like 6 in the morning till noon, just more of a social thing, so I can be out there and interact with people. But this radio hobby is exactly that. You can socialize with people worldwide, and you don't even have to leave your home.
Yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good thing. You can sit in your Radio Shack and talk around the world, and you get to learn things, and you get to know different people. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and that's why I've got a few, maybe a bit more than I need. But anyway, that's the fun of the game, isn't it? I think as a kid, when you used to go to the radio shop, I used to go with my old man to the radio shop and see all these radios and think, oh well, I wouldn't mind having that one and that one. And as you get older, you can have that one and that one over.
That's right. When you're working and you're making some money, you can actually have those radios. I used to do the same thing. We used to have Radio Shack up here. I don't know if you guys had Radio Shack down there, but Radio Shack was a franchise, and they used to have a lot of CB radios in there. And I used to go in there with a kid when I was a kid and just kind of drool over some of them, the ones I could never afford, but I just used to say, "Man, I wish I had that."
Yeah, I was the same way. Yeah, we did have Radio Shack. They're all closed down now. But yeah, we had Radio Shack. I think that was Tandy. I think it was called Tandy in Australia. And then we had another one, Australian company called Dick Smith. And then you had your little CB shops. So yeah, they were very popular. And I was the same, Joe. I used to go in there and look at all the different radios and think, oh, what would that one be like? Oh, I wouldn't mind that one.
Yeah, and the catalogs too. They used to have the catalog out every year, a new Radio Shack catalog, and it was actually Tandy Corporation. You're right. Realistic is Radio Shack, and they made the Navajo base stations and stuff. And that was my first radio back in 1977. Was a Realistic TRC 452. Just the first 40 channel that kind of came out there with a little channel selector on it with the numbers painted on it and a light behind it. I still have it, kind of all chrome on the front. And I was really drooling over the when they came out with the TRC 458 and 457. So I ended up buying the 458. I couldn't afford the 457. That was the one with the clock and the SWR in it. You remember that one?
Yeah, Roger, mate. I've got one of them sitting on the bench. Yeah, nice radio. Got the clock. I did have the other one. I think it was the 458. I did have that, but I sold that years ago. But I have got the one with the clock in it. Yeah, good radios, your Realistics, eh?
Yeah, you betcha. I love those. I have two 458s here. I actually still use one of them quite a bit. I bought in February 1978. So I've had it 46 years now, and it still works pretty good. And yeah, and then I bought a lollipop microphone they actually had sitting in Radio Shack. The owner of the Radio Shack where I lived in the town south of Vancouver brought in his used D104 lollipop microphone, and I always wanted one of those microphones. And I was saving up for it, and the day I went back to get it at the Radio Shack, it was gone. I said, "Where's that microphone, Roy?" And I was like, like 13 years old. He says, "Oh, I sold it to somebody." So I get home and I'm talking on the radio, and my friend of mine, he lived about 10 miles from me. He says, "Joe, how's my modulation?" And I said, "Man, your modulation sounds great." He says, "Good, because I bought this used D104 lollipop microphone," he said. And I go, "What?" I says, "Where'd you buy it from?" He said, "Radio Shack."
I bet you wanted to kill him, huh?
I did, so listen to this. So anyway, a few weeks later, it was the D104 Lollipop Tug 8 stand, so not amplified, but a lollipop. But I really wanted it. And so he wanted the preamplified one. So he ended up buying a preamplified Tug 9, and he contacted me on the radio. We were talking. He says, "Hey, Joe, you really like that lollipop? I'll sell it to you." So I bought it from him. I think it was like $20 or $30.
Yeah, can't go wrong, mate. Can't go wrong. The old D104 is a good mic. I've got a few of them here, and I've got a load of Turner stuff. That's my favourite mics, the Turners, but the D104s are really good too. Right up there, and the old Silver Eagle's not bad either. But yeah, the main microphone I like the most is the Turner expander. the 500 bass mic, over.
Oh, I remember those, man. Turner mics are awesome. I love them. Turner Expander 500, Turner Super Sidekick. I used to talk to a lot of guys running those things back in the late 70s and through the 80s. They were very popular, very good desk mic. I do have that lollipop still, though. I'm looking at it. It's hooked up to my TRC 458, one of them, and I still use it. And right now I'm talking to you on a D104 Tug 9 lollipop, but I got it turned way down.
Yeah, roger, mate. Sounds like, you've got the same sort of, thing with microphones. You got the same, love for microphones. I love the old different microphones. I've got a few old Johnson, the old Johnson mics, the bass mics. They look like the old Turner plus, the Turner 2s, the blue ones. You would have seen them. But I haven't got one of them, believe it or not. Out of all the Turners, I haven't got one of those. I've always meaning to get one, but I haven't got one yet. That's something I've got to get. But, they're good microphones. All the different brands had their own type of mic, over.
They're nice microphones. I love those. I know exactly what you're talking about. They look like a vintage microphone, right?
Yeah, and they're black. And then I've got a Johnson desk mic. It's not powered, I think. It's a brownie colour. You would have seen them as well. There's a breaker out there, Joe. I think he's breaking in for you, mate. So I'll get on the side and let you take him, over.
I'll listen on the side here. Okay, thanks a lot, Mick. I'm listening on the side. QSK, go ahead. All right there, 43 Whiskey Radio, 165 down under. We got you in there, brother. Not the greatest condition, but we hear you out there, man, and we're waving at you. Hopefully you can hear me out there, 165.
Yeah, roger. So Jack Craig, how are you, mate? 16520. Back to you there, Mick. You got it right. Joe's probably not hearing you at the moment, mate. So, them Turners, mate. You're doing a good job having them, over. Me too, Craig. I've always been into Turners, and I've got a shitload of them. I've probably all up with the bass mics. I've probably got about 35 to 40, I think. I've got pretty much every one of them, bar the plus two. But they're good microphones, and I've got a shitload of them expanders. I just like them, and when I like something, I buy a lot of them, over. Craig, well, I've probably got about, probably 10, I think. I think I've got about 10 expanders. I think I've got about 6 plus 3s. And I think I've got about 7 sidekicks. And then I've got the other ones, the light grey colour ones. I've got probably 5 of them. So, I've got a few of them. I like the kind of stuff. I think you can tell. I like Turner mics, but always good to get because they're going to get hard to get down the track, over. best, mate. Good to hear you out there. And I'll definitely let Joe know. 73s and yeah, have a good one, mate. And it'd be nice to hear you when you get your flat top up. All right, mate, 73s. Yeah, back to you then, Joe.
Sounding good, brother. Sounding good. Sounds like he's got a few microphones too.
Yeah, he's a turner man, obviously. He's got the expander. I think he said he had a +3 and sidekick, I think. Yeah, they're good microphones. You know, I think when you talk about radios, you talk about D104s, Silver Eagles, Turners. What's the other one? There's another brand that I like. I'm just trying to think of it. Like Weeson, don't really like Weeson mics. Got a couple of them, but yeah, not a big fan of them, mate.
Hey, Roger, on that there. Yeah, and you know what? As long as they work and they sound good, your microphone sounds great. Good audio, not over mod. I don't know how you have it turned up, but it's very loud, very clear.
Yeah, Roger, mate. I've got it on just over a quarter on this microphone, and this one's a hand mic, Joe. It's a Turner 400 expander. 400 expander, hand mic, Turner, over.
Oh yeah, working nice, working nice. I should actually get one of those for my radio here because I do like hand mics too. I do have two M6B D104 handhelds. I use them on my. I have one as a backup, a brand new one too, in case one packs. I use them on my RCI 2970 DX. But yeah, those hand mics are nice. That's a great little mic you got there, man. And you only got it quarter cranked up. It's working.
Yeah, I've got it quarter on the microphone and got it just over half on the radio on the 2950. She works well. I know I used to have the expander 500, the bass mic, and that worked a treat as well. But because where I'm sitting, it's a bit hard to use a desk mic, so I got this one out, and it seems to work alright. I've been getting some really good reports with it.
Oh yeah, and your signal's booming, and you're way in the red, way coming into the red there. Just absolutely awesome signal from the South Pacific. Hey, were you in Sydney? Did you say you're in Sydney?
Negative, mate. I'm further down the coast. I'm in Melbourne, Victoria. I'm in the countryside down the bottom in the southeast, over.
Okay, Melbourne. That's right. Yeah. Oh, nice. I bet you're having beautiful weather then, huh?
Yeah, it's been bloody hot the last couple of days, but today we had some heavy rain earlier, and that's cooled everything off, so it's quite nice at the moment. But yesterday, yeah, I was sweating like a pig, over.
Oh, must be nice. You can send some of that heat up this way, Mick. We just got over a 3-day cold blast here. So, I mean, we're on the plus side. So we did have a 3-day cold blast, short-lived, intense, but we're on the plus side now. So we're up, it's only a few degrees above freezing here, 32, 0 degrees Celsius. So we're about 3 degrees, something like that, and on the rise. But I see they're freezing pretty good, even down into the States.
Yeah, Roger, I was just talking to a guy in Michigan, and he was telling me, I think it was Michigan, he was telling me it was 20 minus. I think it was a Michigan guy. 20 minus, mate. Yeah, forget that.
Oh, that's cold. I talked to a guy this morning in Huntsville, Alabama, way down there, and it was -6 Celsius. Over in Alberta the other day when they had that cold blast, it was minus -40 or so without the wind chill.
Oh, mate, that's too cold, man. That's too cold. I couldn't deal with that. Yeah. We're pretty soft in Australia, mate.
That's all right, man. That's a good place to be. I'd love to be down under right now. You know what? As I get older, I dislike cold even more. That's why, living in Canada, I have to live on these islands out here in the ocean where our winters are the mildest in the land. And when we get down into the, -4, -5, that's actually getting pretty cold out here for these islands. But it's short-lived, thank God. But -40, God, that would kill somebody that's so cold.
Yeah, Roger, mate. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I didn't think Alabama got minus. I always thought Alabama was a pretty warm state. That's down south, right down near Florida there. I actually went through Alabama when I was on the road trip. And, yeah, so that gets really that cold down there, doesn't it?
It does. When I'll tell you what, there's nothing to stop the cold air from the Canadian prairies to funnel down into even into southern Texas, We're here. We don't get any cold air from the prairies because we have the Rocky Mountains to the east and also the Coast Mountain Range. So none of that cold air from the prairies comes this way. It funnels straight down into the southern U.S. as far south as into Florida. And they can even get snow and freezes and frost in northern Florida where they grow the oranges. Oh, it freezes down there. It's frozen down in Arkansas right now. Tennessee, full of snow.
Yeah, I didn't think it got that cold down there, but there you go, eh? I think the only place that probably doesn't get snow would be Florida, would it?
Southern Florida, northern Florida does freeze and does snow. You want to know something? If you go to Tallahassee, Florida, the extreme low temperature is actually colder than it's ever been here on our island. Their record low is -2 degrees Fahrenheit, and ours is 5 above Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, because when we were over in Florida, it was in the warm period. Man, that was hot. That was really, really hot. Well, I was struggling there. When we were on our road trip, we stayed with my mate that lives over there, Ronnie, Romeo Whiskey 375. We stayed with him, and yeah, the usual were going day and night over.
Yeah, it gets pretty humid in Florida. I've been down to Miami, and I remember that was February '96. I went down there, and when I landed at Miami International Airport, it was actually kind of cool out. It would have been probably about 14 degrees Celsius, 13, 14, which was pretty cool, and it was rainy and kind of, coolish, but the next day, when the sun was shining, it got really humid and hot.
Yeah, that's the problem with Florida. The humidity is really bad. Yeah, you always sweat, and that's like Queensland. I always find when I go up to Queensland, you always sweating your ass off. But lately in Victoria, we've been copping that humidity, which we don't normally get,
Yeah, it's very humid down there, and I think they might have a lot of bugs down there too. But yeah, you know what? I heard way up there in their Cairns, Australia, up in the tropics there, it is very humid in that part of Australia because it is actually truly tropical.
Yeah, Roger, that's right, mate. Yeah, you wouldn't live up there. Yeah, that's too hot. And if you want to go for a swim, you got to very much watch yourself, or the crocs will have a nice meal, over.
That's the thing that would freak me out is the crocodiles. And even when I swim out on Maui, because we go to Hawaii for the winter, and we haven't been for a few years, but we go to Maui, and there's lots of tiger sharks out there too, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive, little tiger shark. You know, up in, when I went up to Cairns, up in Queensland, up the top there, yeah, on the beaches, which I never really took any notice, but you can't swim in the water there because they've got big signs, watch out for the crocs, and watch out for the sharks. So, if one doesn't get you, the other one might. So, you can't swim up there, and I know in Kansas City, they had a big swimming pool right beside the beach, so you could go in there instead of going in the beach water, right?
That's unreal. Well, that'd be like Florida too, Mick, because there's a lot of crocodiles down there. And, it might be a hot day and you might want to jump in a lake or something like that in southern Florida. Well, guess what? That lake could have crocs in it.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. We've had a lot of tourists come to Australia, up to the Northern Territory, and, they get so hot, they just want to cool off, and they jump in in the dams and that up there, and, surprise, surprise, the crocs just got a nice meal, over.
That's right. It's lunchtime for the crocs. I know. That's kind of scary, isn't it? So, anyway, when we go to the Hawaiian Islands, the rivers and the lakes and all that stuff are safe, but the ocean, you still got to be careful out there because of the tiger sharks. And usually when we're on Hawaii, on the Hawaiian Islands, we usually stay for a month. And it usually seems like there's at least one shark attack when we're there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, eh?
Listen.
down here.
Kona, yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's been a few
Australia.
attacks. We cop them. I get a lot in South Australia.
I'll give it to nuts. That's crazy. Thank you.
And, well, we've had a few in Victoria too. Like around Melbourne and that. A young boy got grabbed by a crocodile the other day. So, but I don't know. I think he survived. But yeah, you got to be careful, mate. I think he really got to be overheating to get in the water. But our beaches are pretty good down might find yourself getting into trouble, over.
Hey, Roger, on that there. Yeah, well, you got beautiful beaches down there, and I know there's definitely great whites out there somewhere too, right?
Yeah, Roger, yeah, some big great whites, and the bull sharks are pretty bad too. Now, the bull sharks will come into the, they've got like new estates up there in Brisbane, and it's like a channel, and you can go in and all the houses, come off that channel, and up there, always bull sharks are in that water, so you got to be very, very careful, mate, over.
Oh, that's scary. I know. Like, they seem to go for a lot of surfers, right? I guess. You know, when the surfers are paddling out on their boards a lot, the shark looks up and it kind of looks like a sea turtle to them. And I know a lot of sharks like to eat those sea turtles. So a lot of times, if the surfer's lucky, the shark just takes a bite out of their surfboard.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's what happens. I know one of our real good surfers. I forget his name. He's an Aussie bloke. He was out there surfing, and he was sitting on his board, waiting to have his turn to go get the wave, and a shark come up from underneath him. He absolutely grabbed his backs. He was very, very lucky. It was a big shark. But he managed to get away from it, over.
Oh, that's scary. And you know what? Generally, the sharks probably don't usually eat you. They usually take a big bite out of you, and then you kind of bleed to death.
Yeah, Roger, that's right. That's what happens. You got to be really careful in the water and stuff. I guess anywhere in the world, really. You're starting to drop down on me a bit, Joe. Am I dropping down to you up there?
No, you're sounding good, Mick. You're actually blowing smoke out here, but I am going to back out of here soon. I think we're going to make some dinner pretty quick here. So before conditions do drop out and you do lose me, I will say cheers and beers, and I'm glad I heard you out there calling for me.
Yeah, QSO. I call for you quite often. See if I can get back to you there. So I was really surprised and happy that you were out there. But anyway, you have a good one there, Joe, and I'll listen for you again, mate. 9 UDL 791. Your mate down under 20. We'll catch you later, Joe.
All right there, Mick, 20 down there in Melbourne, Australia. Cheers and beers to you, buddy, until we talk again. Always good to hear you, my friend. You're always blasted in here. Sound like a local. I wish I could pour you a cup of coffee or something. Next time. Cheers, buddy. Happy DXing. UDX 791 out here on the Gulf Islands. Way out here in the North Pacific. We'll be listening.
Okay, Joe, you enjoy too, mate. And, have a good evening out that way. All the best. We'll get back on the side. There was a station calling out. Go ahead.
Cheers. Wow. 28-minute QSO right there. Oh, wow. That's Mick in Melbourne, Australia. Good sounding station.
Hey, 20, you sound like a local down there. You sound like a local down in Victoria.
Victoria, Melbourne, Australia.